We'll do a little chapter review tomorrow, and then Friday we're gonna have, or sorry, Wednesday we're gonna have like a chapter quiz. Yeah.
So did we do like 4, 8, 12?
Yes, we're doing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 evens.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, when's the test? Are we done to get to it?
Wednesday we will take a test / quiz on this chapter.
Is it not gonna
Quiz because I'll probably make it a little bit smaller. It still counts as a. It's still like a test, but it won't be. It
So
might
it
not
will
be
be
worth
shorter,
as much.
so, wait, hold on, but doesn't that make it like the points are more points? I mean,
No.
not points, the number.
No, so if I made a normal test worth 100 points,
Yeah.
and I make the quiz maybe 60 or 80 or whatever I decide, it won't be worth as much.
But we already have a test on Wednesday.
But you're gonna have another one. Okay, before we do number 2, let's look at the hard one, number 3. What A values would make those factors 0? 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
What?
I what?
I'm talking about number 2. Or sorry, number 3. Number 3. What A value would make that 4A minus 1 into a 0?
1 over 4.
1 over 4. Okay, you guys have to remember that. If you forget, there is a way you can figure it out. It's 4A minus 1. How do you make 4A minus 1 into 0?
1 over. Oh, that's right.
Add 1, divide by 4. 1 4.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay, if you can just look at it and kind of get the pattern, it's a lot easier. So number 3, if we did it, would be 0, 1/4, and what would the third answer be? Negative 9/3, which is also negative 3. Okay. 3 is a lot harder than 1 and 2, so I just want to look at it. Number 2, what's the?
3?
We're not doing 3. What's number 2?
Negative 6 and 10.
Negative 6 and 10. Number 4. Okay, actually 4 is the easier of those two, so I'm gonna do number 6 instead. Number 6 says solve by factoring. How can I factor number 6? Is it 3 term? Is it take stuff out? Is it square minus square?
Take stuff out.
What can you take out of both those?
4. No, 2.
2y. What's left after you divide those both by 2y?
4y squared
4y squared
and 1 negative.
minus 1. Yeah, when you're taking something out, you're dividing it out. 2y divided by 2y is 1, not nothing. How about this thing in parentheses? What can I do with that?
Square minus square.
It's a square minus a square. Difference between two squares. So what goes into 4y squared?
2y.
2y, 2y. What goes into negative 1?
Negative 1.
Negative 1 times positive 1.
Yeah.
Okay, now it looks kind of like number 3. What y values would make these factors 0?
0.
0 for this out here.
Negative 1 over 2.
Okay, this one would actually be positive 1 over 2, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if that 2 wasn't there, if this 2 was gone, it would be y equals 1, right? But since that 2 is here, it's y equals 1 over 2. And y equals what? Negative 1 over 2. So plus or minus 1/2. Number 8. Solve by taking roots. Actually, we probably should do number 10 together. You guys remember how to do number 7?
Yeah.
X squared equals 6. Solve by taking roots. They mean by taking square roots. So how did we solve that?
Don't we square root them both?
You can square root both sides.
And then you get x equals
still wrong.
Uh,
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Because negative square root of 6 squared is still 6. You have to use plus or minus whenever you use the square root trick. So if you can get x squared by itself, you can just square root both sides. But you need to put a plus or minus. That's number 7, so it's not an actual answer. Okay, number 8 is pretty similar. What would the first two steps on number 8 be?
Minus 7.
Add 7. Then what? Divide by 3, and then you can do the square root trick. Number 10, we only did a couple of these on the homework, so probably better help you with this one. It's like the last two questions on the homework from that, whatever assignment that was. Any ideas on what my first step is? Let's just try one step. Grant?
Do we divide?
Yeah, you divide by 25, that's probably a good idea. We want to get the square by itself usually, so that we can get rid of it. Just like last chapter we got the square root by itself to get rid of it. How do I get rid of the square now?
you, yeah.
Square root
So that'd be just x minus 1
x minus 1.
equals square root of 25, which would be like something over 5.
Okay, yeah, it's a square root of
Maybe
12.
2 over 2
Okay.
square root.
Yeah, square root of 12 is 2 square root of 3. You can let your calculator do it, doesn't matter. What's the square root of 25? Okay, something I did is a little bit wrong. You know, plus or minus.
Yeah.
Okay, we do need to add, that was right, but I want to put a plus and minus in there. So to solve for x, what do I do? Plus the 1. What a mess.
But on this problem, we're not actually gonna like do the like 1 plus and like 1 minus.
Okay, you can't do 1 plus 2 squared root of 3, it doesn't,
Yeah.
unless you want to change it to a decimal. Nor, we don't change it to a decimal unless they specifically tell us to. We're gonna leave it in the square root. Okay, number 12 or 14? 12.
I think we should do
Okay,
the
12 and 14, it says solve by completing the square. We never did that because I jumped straight to quadratic formula, which is like the more efficient version of that. So we're just going to solve 12 and 14 by quadratic formula.
Are they gonna be on the
Quadratic formula is yes.
Oh.
Okay, so I don't have any room up here, so you guys might want to write it down on your page. What is the quadratic formula?
like
Negative
b
square root of
Plus or minus?
negative b squared.
Okay, let's get one person to do it. Anybody want to volunteer?
Can you sing it?
Okay,
Lisa wants
Caden.
to.
Okay. B squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
That's it. Okay, I'm not gonna make you memorize this for the test. In a couple of years, when you guys take the ACT, you do need to have it memorized, or when you take Algebra 2, you do need to have it memorized. But I will just put this on the board somewhere. Probably erase this stuff, maybe. Okay, so number 12, what's my A, B, and C?
The 8 is
1,
the 1
5,
negative
1,
0.
5, and negative 3. Because the 3 is on the wrong side.
Yeah, so we have to,
So you have to subtract 3, so it's on the left, so it's a minus 3 on the left. Okay, so negative B,
so negative 5.
negative 5, plus or minus the square root of
25.
5 squared, or 25, minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. 25 plus 12 is 37. Perfect. so I got -5 plus or minus square root of 37 over 2.
That seems correct.
Alright, Willow on 14, I probably should have just done one of these. No, I think I did both of them with the other class. Willow on 14, what's my A, B, and C?
3, 18, and -3.
Yeah, no trick questions on that one. Oh gosh, 18 is a big number. So negative V, -18, whoops, -18, plus or minus square root of 18 squared minus 4 times A times C. Yeah, if I remember third hour correctly, this came out as 360, square root of 360 over 2 times A. Of course, square root of 360 can simplify because it's 36 times 10. So it's 6 square root of 10. Okay, this is why I did it with the other class. Can I do anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, like,
I think on the homework, I don't know that this ever happened, but on this problem, both of these terms on top are divisible by 6. You guys see that? And if you can divide them both, then it's okay. You can go ahead and do it. You can't just divide one, though. The whole thing divided by 6. Kind of like distributive property. So it's just going to become
-3 plus or minus
1 square root of 10 or just square root of 10.
That was very cool.
No, it wasn't.
Don't ruin the moment, Shannon.
Can I change the date?
Sure. I think it's the
Second.
second.
Yeah.
Can you just do the third?
When's the freshman orientation?
Can you just do the third?
We don't get one.
Yay.
Oh wait, that's
means-
tomorrow.
Star Wars Day is Wednesday,
Yeah.
That's gonna be the hardest
May
assignment.
May the 4th.
That was done, it's not
May
good.
the 4th be with you. Isn't there another joke that goes along with that?
With May the 4th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't remember any of the course. It's like, can my
Revenge
grandma
of the
be Ashley?
6th or something like that?
Oh, Revenge of the Sixth. Oh,
No, I don't know if that's it. There's some other joke that goes.
funny.
Huh?
Revenge of the Fifth. Orientation.
Oh, it's
Revenge
the
of the
third.
5th. Yeah, that sounds more like 6th, doesn't it?
No, it's the second, Vincent.
Oh.
Tomorrow, they third, this is the last class.
It's also the fifth movie.
Okay, 16. 16, they're nice to us. Well, kind of. It just says state the values of A, B, and C. Do not solve.
Woo. Yeah, you gotta follow your.
So, Forrest, on 16, what would the A, B, and C values be?
Oh, yeah. 3, 2.
A is 3.
3, 1, 2.
-2.
Okay, it's so.
Yeah, -2.
Yeah, normally the standard form of a quadratic equation looks something like this, right? The x squared term, the x term, the constant. So this is A, B, C. If they don't have it in that order, you need to put it in that order. So what would come after the 3 on number 16?
The one, -1.
Negative 1x.
Yeah.
Because you have to,
Oh, yeah.
a positive x over here is like a minus x over here.
Yeah.
So it's -1 is the b value. And then what's the c value? -2. Same thing with the 2. It's on the wrong side, so you have to subtract it over. So it's just the opposite.
Discriminant. Is there one?
Okay, it said we didn't have to solve this one. Discriminant, we probably did like, last,
Is it like
Tuesday or
those
Wednesday or
racist
something.
Karens? They're like,
root word
Square
is
racist Karen.
discriminate, but it doesn't mean a bad thing. Discriminant. Discriminate means to tell the difference between the discriminant helps us tell what kind of answers we're gonna get when doing a quadratic equation. You guys have any idea what I'm talking about? It's
no.
probably like last Tuesday, I'm guessing. This
Oh.
is the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac.
Yeah.
We just plug stuff into that, remember doing that? And then if we got like 0, that means you would get one rational answer. If you get positive and has a square root, that means there will be 2 rational answers. Rational means like fraction, normal answers. If it's positive but no square root, the square root doesn't simplify, it has 2 irrational answers, like 1 plus or minus square root of 5 or something like that. And then if it's negative, what kind of answers does it have?
No real.
No real, because you can't have a square root under the negative, or negative under the square root without it being, So those are kind of our 4 options. Kind of wish I didn't put them right there, but maybe I'll scroll back to it. So basically we're doing b squared minus 4ac. So we still need a, b, and c. On 18, what's my a, b, and c?
1, 4, and -5.
1, 4, -5. No tricks on that one. So b squared would be 4 squared minus 4 times a times c. -4 times -5 is 20. 16 plus 20 is 36. Okay. So is that number 0? Scroll way back up here.
No.
No, it's not one rational. Is it positive and it has a square root?
No.
Yes, so it's 2 rational. So put 36 comma 2 rationals.
Man, this is fun.
No one thinks it's fun except you.
Okay, I am gonna leave 20 to you guys. If you need that table that I just wrote on the board, let me see what page it's on. It's probably back like 10 pages.
517. No, never mind. I took that back. It's not that.
Is that,
It's on the bottom of page 507.
Yeah, okay.
is that on Wednesday this time?
It's maybe Tuesday or Wednesdays, I don't recall exactly. It was definitely last week. Okay. So I'm gonna skip 20 for you, and leave it for you guys. 22. Use quadratic formula to solve. Actually, 24 is slightly harder, so I'm gonna jump to 24.
Oh.
It's just quadratic formula, so it's not that hard, but.
Is this paper for a grade?
Yes, we're turning it in tomorrow. That's why we're only doing evens to get it done quick. What's my A, B, and C on 24? Oh, this one's tricky. Who needs a tricky one? Grant wants a tricky one. Alright, Grant, what's my A, B, and C on number 24?
The A is 4.
Yes, the A is not the tricky part. A is 4.
The B is -2.
Okay, do you guys see where you got -2 from?
Yeah. And then the C is -6.
Do you guys see where you got -6 from?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically there was a -5 over here. So if you subtract 1 to join them together, you get -6.
Then why didn't you just do 4 -6 too?
The b value has to be the x, the number in front of the x.
Oh, okay.
So it's 4, -2, -6. Yeah, the order does matter. Alright, so negative b would be
That'd be
+2.
Why did you
Plus or minus square root of b squared would be 4 minus 4 times a times c all over 2a.
You didn't do the minus sign.
Where?
On
Oh.
that side.
I probably did, I just didn't.
Yeah, I did.
And it's 10.
Okay, yeah, this is kind of hard. I think this is
Like
20,
16
this
times-
is 96. 4 plus 96 is 100. What is the square root of 100? 10. So this comes out as a perfect 10 right here.
Over 8.
And then
Okay, so since this is normal numbers, we can actually do this. What's 2 plus 10?
2 plus 10 is
12 over 8 reduces to 5 by 4.
2 over 2.
6 over 4 or 3 over 2.
Yeah.
What's 2 minus 10?
Negative 8 over
Negative 8 over 8?
which is like negative 1 over 1.
Negative 1. That was 24. It's a little bit harder than 22. 22 is pretty similar. 22 doesn't have any fractions, that's the difference. Solve and state the solution set. What's the easiest way to solve numbers 26?
We like square.
Square
Minus square
root.
Oh yeah.
Square root.
it's a purple.
So A equals what?
A.
No,
Okay.
try again.
4 times
Try again.
A equals a squared.
Did we forget already?
16, or the square root of 6.
Square root of 16, which is
4.
okay. Look at number 7. You guys remember 7?
I can write that down.
Plus or minus 4.
Oh.
Remember?
Bro, we had a brain fart.
Can't forget that trick. If you use the square root, you got to do it. That's half the answer.
Oh, that's the answer?
That's evil.
Yeah.
Oh.
Straight.
26. Small problem, small answer. It's really quick. 28. It looks possibly like it might factor, but it actually doesn't factor. So if it doesn't factor, what do we have to do?
Quadratic.
Quadratic formulas. What's my A, B, and C?
2, 8,
2, 8, 9.
That seems fun.
Negative B. Plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC over 2, right?
So that's
64 minus 72 is negative. You may know what I'm about to write. I'm going to put no
3.
real solution.
Man, that was fun. But why? Why did it have to do this to us? It pranked us.
Because you can't have a negative inside the square root,
I know,
right?
but you pranked
Yeah, negative and the square root's the no-no.
It completely pranked us. It's a not real solution.
Yeah, those jokesters. How about 30? 5x squared equals 8x.
Man. I wish I could maybe convert it.
Any ideas?
5 and then
Nope.
Or like take stuff out. Maybe. Like 1x.
Minus 8x. So normally when we solve these, we get everything to one side, unless it's like number 26. We get everything to one side. And then what do we do? Factor. You could use quadratic formula, but factoring is much easier on this one. Quadratic formula, A is 5, B is negative 8, C is 0. But how could we factor this? It's one little step. How could we factor this?
Add,
take
divide,
Take
take out
take what out?
stuff.
X.
X. Take an X out of both there. What's left after we take an X out?
5x.
5x minus 8. What X values make those factors 0?
Can you
And
stop? What are you doing?
0 and what? Positive 8
Negative 5.
fifths.
Oh.
You guys forget already? Positive 8 fifths. There's a number in front of the x, it's gonna be a fraction. Grant,
Should put the chair back up.
why'd you knock it down in the first place?
I'm not trying to, but I actually did.
Maybe we have another talk about you needing attention all the time. Okay, 32. It's not always time for attention, you need to just be quiet sometimes. 32 is factoring, so I'm gonna skip that and let you guys try. You can use quadratic formula if you want to, but it factors pretty easy. Okay, 34. Oh boy. Okay, find two integers. You guys remember what are integers? Okay, they're like numbers on the number line. Could be negative, could be positive, could be 0, but no fractions, no decimals. Find two integers such that the first is 2 more than. So when it says the first is, what should I put for the first? Is equal, but what should I put for the first? Right. It's the unknown, one of the unknown numbers I'm looking for. You call it X or Y or A or B or whatever. Is, okay, the first is 2 more than plus 2 or 2 plus, because the word addition doesn't matter. 2 more than twice the second.
This is 2y.
This is 34, I skipped 32.
X equals 2.
Did you guys say it? I missed it. Twice the second number.
2y.
2y. Okay. Do we have enough information to solve yet? No. X could be anything. If y was 5, x would be like 12. If y was 10, x would be 22. There's a bunch of things. Okay, anyway, the other thing that they tell us though is that their product is 112.
So they multiply together?
So they multiply to get 112. So how should I write that?
So, X.
Equals 112.
What equals 112?
N times 2. X.
X times y, the product of the two numbers, is 112.
Okay.
This one's a tricky one, did I warn you guys? Does anybody know what, have an idea what we could do next?
Plug in X.
What do you mean plug in X?
Like you put in X, that X, yeah.
Right, do you guys remember what this is called?
No.
Starts with an S, chapter 7. Which we'll be reviewing that on Thursday. No?
Sadness. Oh, I said for the answer.
It's called substitution. If x is equal to 2 plus 2y, then we can change this x into 2 plus 2y. When we do that, we get an equation with just one variable instead of two variables.
So it's 2y plus 2y squared equals 112?
Yeah, we could, yes, we can use distributive property. 2y plus 2y squared. Getting closer. How do we normally solve y squared problems? That's kind of what this chapter is about. No, that's only when you get the x squared by itself.
Oh, the y, the quadratic term?
Huh?
The y. We just found.
I already distributed the y. That's how I got that. Okay. Move everything to one side and either factor or quadratic formula.
So there's minus.
So I'm going to minus the 112 over. Also, I'm going to change the order on the left side so it's in standard form. So now it's ready to factor, or it's ready for your A, B, and C in quadratic formula. Factoring is usually quicker if you know how to do it. If you don't, sometimes it doesn't factor and you have to use quadratic formula. I'm gonna do a trick that'll make this one a lot easier. You guys notice anything about all three of these terms? They're all divisible by 2, which will make our, if we divide both sides of this equation by 2, what's the right side become? 0. So the left side become that. That's just going to make it easier to factor. We can do that on this one. Are you eating?
No.
What are you doing? Oh, rubber bands. Yes. Don't eat rubber bands. They're not good for you.
I agree.
Dang it.
Okay, and then Macy's about to die. This is Macy's last hurrah. What goes into, multiplies into negative 56, that adds up to 1. I'm helping you, Macy, you don't have to die.
This is taking like 10 lines on
Yeah.
the paper.
It's because we're getting so smart with our math.
8.
7 and 8, how do I get negative, or how do I get positive 1 out of the 7
8
and
and
8?
negative
8 minus 7.
Yup.
Yo, this is so
Darn it.
cool.
Okay, what y values would make those factors 0? Negative 8 or 7. Y stood for one of the numbers. Remember there was an X a long time ago?
Oh my god.
We're not done.
Yeah, because
I literally have some
8
more.
is not 2 more than 7.
So I'm gonna put y second because it's,
Oh, it's easy though.
Okay, if I know y is negative 8, or it could be negative 8, what could the x be that goes with it?
Positive.
Is this gonna be on the quiz test?
You could, I'll probably put an easier one on there. You could do 112 divided by negative 8, right? Or negative 8 times 2 plus 2, negative
That
14.
would be.
Or if y is 7, we got 7 times 2 plus 2. So there's kind of two pairs of answers.
I don't know like anything we just did on that problem.
Really, you don't know any of it? There was a lot, but hopefully each individual step you can understand.
Yeah, still not understanding.
Okay, 38. What does find g of 3 mean? You guys see 38 at the bottom of the page? Oh, 36, I didn't write up there. We're skipping it because it's,
Oh, we're not?
yeah, it's also a doozy that we didn't get to. We did skip a lesson in this chapter because kind of ran out of time. But 38, what does find g of 3 mean?
G times 3.
No. Yeah, look at the directions.
You plug it,
You plug
Yeah.
3 into the g function.
yeah.
So you do like 2 times 3 squared minus 7 times 3 plus 1. That's it. Just work it out.
Wait,
Easy.
hold on, what'd you say?
2 times 3 squared minus 7 times 3 plus 1. Just plug in 3 for x in the g function.
Can you see that 1?
Wait, but that
Look
doesn't
at
make
g of
sense.
x in your book. See where it says g of x equals 2x
Yeah.
squared? So you do 2 times 3 squared minus 7 times 3 plus 1.
Oh.
You shouldn't be memorizing what I'm saying. You should just be looking at your book. See.
Math is complex.
No, that was easy. That was an easy problem.
Yeah, still math is complex. Not.
Okay.
Oh wait, so we have to do it.
Yes, you have to do that one. 40. This is the lesson that we skipped, but it's pretty easy, so I'm going to go ahead and mention it. The zeros of the function means, so you guys know how this is the x-axis and the y-axis, right?
Yeah.
And the y-axis can also be the f of x axis. So y is 0 where? Right here. This is where y is 0 at. So the function equals 0 right here. In the picture, wherever that is, that's where the function is equal to 0. So when it says find the zeros of the function, it means what x values make the function equal to 0. So what x values are these two right here? 2 and 4. So the answer to 40 is just, and we got from the picture in the book, by the way, if you guys didn't know. 2 and 4 are where it crosses the x-axis. That's where the function is equal to 0. That means if we knew what the function was, we plugged in 2, 0 would pop out. Or if we plugged in 4 for x, 0 should pop out. Anyway, that's the lesson we skipped, but it's pretty similar to the other lessons we did. 42, the line of symmetry. We did this one on Friday. Do you guys remember what the line of symmetry was?
Oh, it was not here.
It was the line that went right down the middle. And it was always called x equals whatever the x-coordinate of the vertex was. Remember that?
Yeah.
So what's the x-coordinate of the vertex in that picture? 3. X equals 3. To name a vertical line, it's always called x equals, and whatever the x values on that line are. Okay, yeah, you're right. 44, 46, you need graphic
Did
paper.
I pass out the graphing paper?
No, because I'm going to cut them in half. So you need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11.
Hey, Eli, where is Burrito?
Is our next class Bible?
No, we also have the birthday. Where?
It's a celebration of life cake.
Where?
You guys know what that means?
No.
It's like a funeral, but not a funeral.
Oh.
Wait, what?
What?
It's like funeral, but it's instead of being sad for somebody, you're celebrating all the good times they had in their life.
Yeah, I went to a funeral the
Like
other
the
day and it
body's
was
not
really
there.
so funny.
The body's
That's
not
great.
there.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was
they-
so funny.
I
My
went to a-
friends were so funny.
I went to
Sit
a-
around and
Really
eat and
died.
talk about the person.
I went to a funeral
Like
last
that.
week, and it turns out he made his kids touch electric fences to see if they were working.
Oh my god.
Wait, what happened?
And then he would just tell them, don't come home.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, that happened to me once, but on accident. My dad's like, "Hey, Grant, is that electric fence on?" And I was like, "Sure, let me go test it out." And I
No,
said,
he would say touch the fence, and so they would just do it, and they would make sure the fence.
"That is funny."
Then he would just.
I just touched it because I was stupid.
What if you were a terrible person? So that when you died.
I love
mean,
that. I
that's
got the
plus
love
or minus.
What happens if no one remembers you because you're a horrible person?
Nobody was.
Except if you're John Van
Still
Gacy and
recording
it's
people.
Okay, we're almost done. We're on the home stretch.
How about now?
We're on the last final 5 minutes until I get.
Okay, number 44. What does that minus 6 do to the graph?
Makes you go down.
Let's go down 6. So where is the vertex at? 0, negative 6. So remember what we did last week? Since the vertex is low, you might want to put your x-axis a little bit high. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, what other x values would be good to use? 1 and 2. If I plug in 1 squared minus 6, negative 5. If I plug in 2 squared minus 6, negative 2. So 1, negative 5, 2, negative 2. You guys remember what I did after that? Reflected, yeah, the copied points.
Man, this assignment is so fun. I enjoy it. Top 10 would recommend.
did skip like 5 problems, so make sure you guys get those done for homework. Sorry about that. 46, where is the vertex gonna be at for 46?
It's gonna be negative 2.
No.
One.
Negative 6, 2.
Oh, dang.
Negative 6, 2. The opposite of the parentheses number. So if it's negative 6, 2, you might want to put your vertex or your x-axis low because it's going to start. Actually, I'm going to do it like that.
Is it gonna be to the left a little bit?
Yeah, negative 6, 2 is way over here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 6, 2 is right there. What would be another couple good x values to plug in? Negative 5, negative 4. Keep it close to the vertex. If I plug in negative 5, plus 6 is 1. Squared is 1. Plus 2 is 3. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Plus 2 is 6. Negative 5, 3. Negative 4, 6. They didn't give us a steep one or an upside down one.
Yeah, these are absolutely good.
Actually, 45 is steep and upside down, so you guys got away with not doing that one.
Yeah. I love America. Where our hamburgers are big, but our diets are also big. And we are in crippling national debt.
Yeah.
America. Yeah. Yep.
All right, you guys got about a minute left.
National debt. At least we are
You can put your chairs up.
Hooray. It's the best country on earth according to statistics.
You have 3 means
But not
the
right.
function work when you put in 3.
The best country. Okay, well then,